The Pedestrian is a puzzle game with a simple premise of moving a stickman from one traffic sign to another in order to connect the doors or the ladders in order to reach the exit. In it, you play as the traditional stickman that we see in traffic signs around the UK, which I feel is a sensible choice by the developers, because if it was down to the decision of the player, and judging by the street signs that I see in my local area, you would be playing as a crudely drawn and grotesquely disproportionate animated penis. These traffic signs have to be placed within a fixed frame so as to make logical sense, whereby I mean that the doors have to be connected or the ladders have to be connected in such a way that you can navigate each level. As the game progresses, the game introduces new mechanics and hazards into each frame, such as doors or lasers that might inhibit your progress throughout each level. Later in the game introduces even more difficult puzzles that you need to navigate, such as holes within each panels, whereby you need to lay the panels on top of one another to fall from one into the other. Even later levels introduce even more difficult obstacles, such as the frame that the panels are contained within, having limited room and space to position the panels. As I mentioned earlier, the panels need to be positioned in such a way to make logical sense, so the doors need to be connected to one another, for example. But because of the limited frame that you are allowed within later levels, navigating these later levels can become more difficult than you would imagine. Imagine trying to navigate your way back from the bar, not only trying not to spill your beer, but more importantly, trying not to spill the packet of pork scratchings that expired in the 1990s. Now, these obstacles might not sound difficult in principle, but the Pedestrian is a very difficult puzzle game. As I previously mentioned, not only do you have to navigate the hazards within each panel, but then also constructing the panels in such a way so as to make your way to the exit makes this game extremely difficult. I don't know why I said extremely difficult in such a profound way, but yeah, it is. I did enjoy my experience with the Pedestrian, especially at the mid-level where the challenges weren't too difficult to overcome. However, some of the later puzzles are extremely difficult. They left me often with my brain genuinely aching. Some of these later puzzles are solved through trial and error rather than actually figuring out the puzzle itself, and often left me wanting to just get over the puzzle so that I could then continue on in the game and find a puzzle that was more reasonable for me to manage. Overall, the Pedestrian is a very good puzzle game, and it does what it does very well and executes the puzzles and the gameplay mechanics that it implements for this game very well. The Pedestrian is a game entirely themed about overcoming obstacles. Its theme, its gameplay dynamics is all about overcoming obstacles. However, I do feel the difficulty of this game could be one obstacle that some people may struggle to overcome for themselves.